Why are you here?
Why did you say that?
No, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
I can't believe you did that.
Princess Charlotte disappeared from a royal gala in tears. Only minutes earlier, Prince George had accidentally exposed her secret relationship in front of the entire British press, and according to royal guard Oliver Grant, that was the first night Windsor Hall completely lost control of Charlotte. The royal charity gala inside Windsor Hall had been planned for months. Politicians, foreign diplomats, royal media. Every important figure connected to the crown gathered that evening. Officially, the gala celebrated Princess Charlotte's growing royal future. But privately, many palace staff understood the real reason behind the event. Prince William wanted the world to see Charlotte as the perfect future royal figure. Elegant, controlled, disciplined, because behind palace doors, Charlotte had secretly fallen in love with someone the royal family would never approve of. An ordinary young man, and only George knew, and according to Oliver Grant, George had protected Charlotte's secret for over a year. The first sign something was wrong appeared. Hours before the gala began, Charlotte arrived late to wardrobe preparation. Normally, she joked constantly with palace staff, but that evening, she barely spoke. One assistant later admitted Charlotte looked like someone preparing for punishment instead of celebration. Grant noticed it too. As he passed outside her preparation room, he overheard part of an argument. William's voice, cold, controlled, double quotes, tonight matters. Then Charlotte, emotion breaking beneath her words. You only care because people are watching. Silence followed. Then William answered quietly, you are not throwing your future away for him. Grant stopped walking immediately. Until that moment, even he believed the rumors about Charlotte's relationship might be exaggerated. But suddenly, he realized they were true. By the time the gala officially began, Windsor Hall looked almost unreal beneath the palace lights. Crystal chandeliers reflected across the ballroom. The press lined the staircase entrance. Then Charlotte finally appeared beside George, and according to several reporters, for several seconds, the entire room stopped moving. She wore a dark emerald gown beneath the golden palace lighting. Elegant, graceful, perfect. Exactly what the monarchy wanted the world to see. But Grant noticed something immediately. Charlotte's hands trembled. George noticed too. As they descended the staircase together, he leaned closer. You okay? Charlotte forced a faint smile. I just need tonight to end. George studied her carefully. Did Dad threaten you again? Charlotte looked away. That's not important. But George already understood. The two siblings had protected each other for years, especially after Windsor Hall. The palace disaster from their childhood had changed everything inside the family. Publicly, the royal family recovered. Privately, nobody ever truly did, especially Charlotte. As the evening continued, Charlotte smiled for cameras, shook hands, and delivered speeches. But according to Oliver Grant, she looked emotionally exhausted the entire night. Then came the interview, the moment everything collapsed. A group of reporters gathered near the ballroom's western platform for a short live segment with George and Charlotte. At first, the atmosphere remained light. Questions about university life, royal responsibilities, charity work. Then one journalist jokingly smiled toward Charlotte. So Princess Charlotte, has the palace finally found you a future prince yet? Several guests laughed softly. Most expected Charlotte to avoid the question politely. Instead, she froze. George noticed immediately, and without thinking, he answered for her. She already loves someone. Silence. Absolute silence. Charlotte turned toward him in horror. George realized his mistake instantly. But it was already too late. The reporters exploded. Who is he? Does Prince William know? Is the palace hiding a relationship? Flashbulbs erupted everywhere. Charlotte's face lost all color. Grant immediately moved forward, while palace security attempted to block the media. But Charlotte suddenly turned and walked away. Fast. Almost running. George followed immediately. Charlotte! She ignored him near the west staircase hallway. Charlotte finally stopped and completely broke down. You promised me, she whispered through tears. George looked devastated. I didn't mean for it to happen like that. You promised. Her voice cracked harder. You said nobody would ever know. George stepped closer desperately. I thought maybe if people knew, Dad would finally stop controlling your life. Charlotte stared at him in disbelief. You don't understand him. Before George could answer, another voice interrupted. Apparently I understand more than both of you. Prince William. The atmosphere changed instantly. Even Oliver Grant felt it. William approached slowly through the corridor shadows, still wearing his formal royal suit. But the expression in his eyes unsettled. Everyone. Not embarrassment, not disappointment. Fear. Real fear. George immediately straightened. Dad. William ignored him entirely. His attention remained fixed on Charlotte. What is his name? Charlotte said nothing. William stepped closer. Charlotte. Still silence. Then finally. She whispered. You would destroy him. William didn't deny it. That frightened Grant more than anything else. Because for several seconds, William simply stared at her before quietly replying, if he destroys this family first, I will. Charlotte burst into tears. George immediately stepped between them. You can't control her forever. William finally looked at his son. And according to Grant, George visibly flinched, because William looked genuinely furious. You exposed your sister to international media, George answered carefully. She deserves a life. William's jaw tightened. She has responsibilities. She's not a prisoner. That sentence echoed violently through the hallway. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Charlotte suddenly turned and ran deeper into Windsor Hall. Grant chased after her, immediately. Past the East Gallery. Past the old family portraits. Until finally she reached the lower courtyard beneath the rain. Charlotte stopped near the palace gate, trembling violently. Grant approached slowly. Your Highness. She wiped tears from her face angrily. I can't do this anymore. Grant stayed quiet. Charlotte laughed bitterly. They already chose who I'm supposed to marry, where I'm supposed to live, what kind of future I'm allowed to have. And the second I love someone myself, everyone panics. Then Charlotte slowly removed something from her wrist. Her royal engagement bracelet. The same bracelet William personally gave her during private engagement negotiations. Charlotte stared at it silently. Then dropped it onto the whetstone. I'm done pretending. Grant's stomach tightened immediately, because he realized exactly what that meant. If Charlotte walked away publicly, the scandal could destroy Windsor Hall. Moments later, George finally reached the courtyard. Rain soaked his formal suit completely. I'm sorry, he whispered. Charlotte looked away. George stepped closer. I thought if people knew, Dad couldn't bury it anymore. Charlotte slowly turned toward him. And now? George looked completely broken. Now I think I made everything worse. Silence settled between them. Rain poured harder across Windsor Hall. Then Charlotte quietly asked, what if I leave? George froze. Grant froze too. Because deep down, everyone knew she meant it. Charlotte looked back toward the palace, the cameras, the guards, the expectations. Then whispered, what if I disappear? George answered instantly, you can't. Why not? Because you're Charlotte. She laughed softly through tears. That's exactly the problem. At nearly 2 a.m., the palace officially announced Charlotte had retired from the gala early due to exhaustion. But inside Windsor Hall, nobody believed it, especially after William secretly ordered all media teams removed from palace grounds before sunrise. And according to palace staff, Charlotte never returned to her royal wing that night. Her phone disconnected. Her room remained untouched. Only one thing remained behind. Handwritten note resting on her bed. And according to Oliver Grant, William went completely pale after reading the final sentence, because Charlotte had written only 7 words. I want a life that feels real. If you enjoyed this emotional royal drama story, leave your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Do you think George betrayed Charlotte, or was he the only person finally trying to save her? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more hidden royal secrets, emotional palace drama, and shocking Windsor Hall stories.